Hello guys, this is Sumaya, your ESD OGTA consultant, and today we're going to talk about how to get prepared for interviews that we have for OGTA EPs. And this is me, and these are the session objectives that we're going to talk about. We're going to start with why interviews, and then go with action steps, preparation steps, question examples, tips and tricks, and we will finish the session with video examples that you can watch. Let's start with why interviews question. Interviews because every EP should be measured if they're suitable for the job. And also the interviews are the spaces that the company can see the candidate's suitability for the job. So interview is that, and it is so important for us. But how to get prepared for them? Let's start with action steps. The first action step is analyzing the job. Actually, you should be able to analyze the job before the interview, because if you don't know the job descriptions and the job perfectly, you cannot match the EP with the job correctly. So this is so important to match and to catch the keywords for the job. So be sure that you totally understand what are they looking for in EP with all job descriptions and definitions of job. But also, analyzing the job is also important for this way. Actually, they're going to measure EP's technical and sectoral information. So EP should also analyze the job for this way too. Like if the EP doesn't know anything about the sector, like IT, like technical information that he or she should know, they cannot be hired. So tip 1 is do not forget that they're going to measure EP's technical and sectoral information. If they're looking for specific programming languages like Python, like C++, you should be able to know that before the interview. The second one is searching the company. Searching the company is also important because as well as you should match the EP and the company and the job for job descriptions, you should also be able to match the EP with company, with the job for core elements like vision, like mission. So first of all, the research shows that you're an informed individual and have a general knowledge of the company's core elements such as management, products, services, and values. So you can also shape, the EP can also shape their talk, their speech during the interview according to these core elements that according to the research that they had before the interview. So tip 2 is do not forget that they're going to measure EP's ability to use researcher and information resources, because if there is an EP who doesn't know anything about the company and sector and etc., they cannot be hired them, because this is also showing the responsibility of EP. So the third one is getting practice. Getting practice is so important because the company is going to measure their critical thinking skills. Like get practice about the good and bad cases that you can face during the job, and you can have a quick research about the sector and main problems to practice. For example, if you will be the HR responsible of the company, you can face a problem between two people in the company. So you should be able to solve this problem. So tip 3 is do not forget that they're going to measure EP's ability of critical thinking and problem solving skills. Like they can ask some questions like, you saw that there's a problem about two people and you will be an HR responsible. How would you find a solution to fix the situation? And etc. And the fourth one is listening and asking questions. Actually, the listening and correct asking are also important skills for all of the companies, because this also shows that you have an open-minded person. You are an open-minded person, and you should also show that skill to the company. And get the keywords and answers by asking true questions to the company responsible that you will have the interview with, after a good listening and showing your listening skills as well. So tip 4 is do not forget that they're going to measure EP's listening skills too. And let's continue with the preparation steps. The first one is sound. Okay, then let's choose a place with no noises in the background. You can explain yourself without nothing mess and without nothing confusing you. And make sure your voice reaches clear and does not have an echo from the background, because it's so important to explain yourself clearly. And if they cannot hear, having an interview will not be the only thing that you will face during the interview. And you should just focus on the interview and the questions that are asked to you. But if not, that will be so confusing for you. The second one is location. Make sure your background is appropriate, because this is also showing your respect to the interviewer. Check your background in case there's something distracting, because you don't want them to see your messy room, your messy bed or something. Set your camera at eye level, like that one that I have, because it is also important to show your face and show your mimics to the interviewer. And the third one is logistics. Make sure your microphone works, because you don't want them to not to hear you clearly. And choose a place that it would not have a connection cut, because if there will be a connection cut, that the interview would not be a clear and successful interview. So that also stressful for you. So take care of that. The first one is lighting. Make sure your face is clearly visible. You can use a desk lamp to provide it if it's dark outside. And the second one is checking your background in case there are strange shadows, because you don't want them to see something strange. And do not use overhead lighting, because it will be occurred shadow on your face. So this is also a thing that we don't want to have. And the fifth one is knowledge. As I told you before, knowledge and a quick research is important for the interviewer, because it shows that you're a responsible candidate and your EP is a responsible candidate. So this is also important. So make sure you know the basic purpose of the company you have the interview with. If they have an interest on sustainable development goals, you can have a purpose, or you can have some words during your speech to attract them. Get to know about the company's expectations from an intern for the characteristics, so you can show yours. And that means if they're looking for a smiling person or an ambitious person, you can also highlight your words and highlight your some sentences to show your ambition, show your highlights, and etc. The seventh one is you. Show your professionalism by dressing appropriately, because this is also showing your respect to the interviewer. And be ready, make your face seem healthy by putting a bit makeup on it, so you wouldn't seem like a ghost. And some question examples here. As you know, these are so classical questions, but also so common questions as well. And the first one is, can you talk about yourself a bit? Like you can talk about yourself, like your interests, your skills, like your education, and etc. What are your strengths and weaknesses? And also they can ask how you will show your strengths and also weaknesses during your job if you will be hired. And the third one is, where do you see yourself in 5 years and 10 years? So you can show them that this job will impact on your future, and this is so important for you. And the fourth one is, please tell us about a success you're proud of. So they're also going to your success criteria as well. And the last one, our last example is, why should we hire you? You should believe in yourself to be hired, because if you don't, they don't. And this is so basic. So you should have some strong ideas about yourself, and you should believe in yourself to be hired, that you're suitable for this job, and you should show them with your sentences, because they're going to ask this directly to you, and you should be able to answer this question as a strong person. And there are some tips and tricks here. The first one is knowing your CV. The interviewer is going to ask about your CV, because on your CV you're going to show your skills, show your previous experiences, and maybe they can ask some specific questions about it. So when the interviewer asks something on your CV, do not look surprised. You should be able to know it clearly and perfectly. Be aware of your CV and know what is written. So what do you mean by C++ and etc. The second one is preparing your mentality. Remember that this interview can change your life. So this will be your life opportunity. So you should fully prepare yourself for the interview day, with your own skills, with your own mental issues and etc. Dress up nicely and put a notebook beside you, so you can highlight some keywords that the interview told you. And the third one is answering honestly and professionally. The interview will be able to get if you're honest or not, because the interviewer probably had many interviews before you, so they are going to be able to understand if you're lying or not. So make sure you're honest and professional. Every question will take you one step closer to your life opportunity. And the fourth one is keeping your answers short and on point. If you build some long sentences, and if you explain yourself in very long sentences and in very long paragraphs, it will be confusing, and you cannot explain yourself as you want to. So do not use the long road instead of answering directly. If they're just asking your future goals, you should just answer this question. You should just talk about your future goals, not your past. So make it on point and use your time wisely, because this is also a good point to using your time. And these are some video examples that you can watch after the session, because the videos are also pointing some good points that are also important, and you can also prepare your EPs to the interviews. And thanks for listening me. This is Sumaya, and you can always reach me out if you have any questions. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.